And I'm starting officially. So today's topic is stress management as far as media management is concerned. So we start with the introduction, and the introduction reads that this topic looks into the issues of stress within the organization. So whatever we are going to look at here is issues of stress within the organization. It causes, the organization, it causes and how it can be managed or reduced. So remember that stress is one key thing that exists within us. That exists within us. Its causes and how it can be managed or reduced among the workers. Remember, one day you'll be a worker if you're not one, and you will be faced with stress. So in this particular unit, we are going to check how do you deal with situations of stress. Some of the we are also going to look at some of the causes of stress, or some of the causes of stress are highlighted, and this includes lack of communication, feelings that promotions have been unfairly denied, among others. And according to the chapter, stress can be controlled by simple things like relaxation of the workers through retreats and some physical exercises. So this particularly is what we are going to look at. So when you talk about stress management, we are going to look at stress management as far as the working environment is concerned, because you come to realize that most of the workers or most of people working in an organization are faced with stress, and they are unable to solve this stress. Some of them go ahead by doing what? By committing suicide. You have seen people committing suicide because of work-related issues. Maybe there is somebody you fell in love in your area of work or in your organization, and this person rejected you, and you end up committing suicide. Now, those are the issues. Also, you find that a position that you are aiming at in an organization has been taken or has been fairly taken by another person, and so you feel so much demotivated, and you end up committing suicide, or maybe looking for short-term stress managers, like for example when you take alcohol so that to manage your stress or something like that. What are some of the objectives of this particular unit? Some of the objective of this unit are, or is, that by the end of this topic you should be able to, number one, be able to see the reasons of stress to workers in an organization. You must be able to see why do workers have stress in an organization. The next thing is that you must be able to give highlights of how stress can be managed within the organization. After going through this particular unit, you must be able to highlight, or you must be able to show how stress can be managed in an organization. And the last thing, but not least, is that you must be able to outline the various methods of avoiding stress to the workers within an organization. So because we usually face stress, you must be able to tell us methods that you can use to avoid stress. Remember also, we are talking about, when you talk about methods of reducing stress, we are not talking about you taking alcohol. Taking alcohol should not be a method of reducing or avoiding stress. Failing to talk to your employer or your employees is not another method of is not a good method of avoiding stress. So I hear people saying that when they go to work, that if you have a conflict with your friend, stop talking to him. So that is a method of avoiding that stress. No, that is not a very good method of avoiding stress. Actually, the best method of avoiding stress is talking to that person whom you have a conflict about, or that person who has caused or who has brought about the issue that gives stress to you. Anyway, let's go to the topic. Let's go to the topic. Or before I go to the topic, maybe I can ask Emma. Or Emma, have you ever had stress? And Yvette should be in a position to tell us what stress is. Emma, we are waiting. I'm asking whether you have been in a position, or maybe have you had stress before?
Yes.
What was the stress about? And how did you feel about it? And how did you overcome that stress? That's what I want to know.
That one is personal.
But you are able to manage the stress, so I don't see anything personal about.
No.
If you are able to manage the stress, then I don't see whether it is personal, because you are able to overcome it. Unless the stress, you still have that stress up to now, then we can actually avoid asking you that particular question. So maybe tell us. Go ahead. You should not fear. You should not fear. Emma, we are waiting. Emma, hutaki kutuongelesha?
I don't want to talk about it.
Now tell us how you managed it. What did you do to manage that particular issue? So don't tell us about it. Tell us how you managed that particular issue.
Well, I think I cut off the communication with the person.
Oh, with the person. Anyway, we can anyway, that is not a good way of dealing with conflict. Maybe you should have interacted more with the person, and with time, that particular stress would go down. The level would go down. Yvette, now tell us, what is stress?
So stress is like, let me say, a feeling. You're feeling angry or maybe like nervous about something that had already happened or is about to happen. Yeah.
Like you have a cat next to you. Do you have stress? Or does it
Yes,
bring about stress?
Yes.
Anyway, let's start our conversation and our class, and let's look at what we call causes of stress. Let's look at causes of stress. Let's look at causes of stress. So remember, we are talking about stress in an organization. And when you talk about causes of stress, we are saying that these are some of the causes of stress in an organization. Number one is lack of priorities on tasks and responsibility, especially during the working days. Lack of priorities on the tasks and responsibilities during the working days. So when you talk about lack of priorities, we are saying that in an organization, sometimes we are usually we get stressed when we lack to prioritize tasks and responsibilities, especially during working days. What do I mean? What I mean is this: sometimes stress can come from maybe for example, your manager wants a certain piece of work that maybe he gave you early during the day, or maybe early last week. And because you did not prioritize issues in the if you did not prioritize issues when you are given, of course, when you're working in an organization, you have various tasks to perform. Like if you are a lecturer, you have to go to class, you have to attend to your student. Number two, you have to do what? You have to prepare other documents like coursework registers. You have to prepare things like records of works. You have to also interact with other friends of yours. You also have to do or to prepare for classes. Prepare for classes, maybe the classes that you'll be having next week. You have to do that. And then there are some other things that there are other meetings that you have to attend to, etc., etc. Now, suppose your head of department gives you something. Of course, when he gives you a piece of work, he gives you also the deadline that you're supposed to have submitted that kind or that piece of work. And then you will add priority to prioritize. And then and when that particular time comes for you to submit the work, you realize that you have not done that particular work. So you come to realize that you're going to be in a very, you're going to find yourself you're going to have stress as far as that particular work is concerned, because you did not prioritize your work. So prioritize means what? Prioritize means to arrange your work or to arrange your activities in such a way that the most important, you start with the most important to the least important. So the most important tasks are done first, and the least important tasks are done last, depending on those tasks. So failure to prioritize your work in order of their importance will actually make you have stress, or you're going to have stress when you fail to do that. The next thing that can cause stress in an organization to an employee is maybe perceptions of individuals that you're not competent in the job. So when you have a perception that you're not competent in a particular job task, you will have what is called stress. Like for example, all of us are learning to become journalists. You're learning to become journalists. So you find a job, you find your first job, or you look for a job and then you find your first job. You get your first job, and then you are made maybe a senior cameraman or a senior reporter in that particular job or in that particular organization. So you come to realize that whenever you have a perception that you are not competent in that particular position, you're actually going to have stress. You will have sleepless nights. And because of that, you will realize that you are not going to execute your tasks the way you are supposed to execute them, because you have already what we have perception that you are not competent, that you cannot be able to do that particular job. So that's another cause of stress. Another cause of stress in an organization, is unclear self-identities. Confusion, unclear self-identities, confusion over individual roles in a management hierarchy, e.g. going where everybody is acting as a manager and you don't know who is who in an organization. This mostly happens when you are a new employee in a certain organization. So you don't know where to report to. You don't know whether I should go and report this case to a HR manager, or whether I should report it to a line manager, or maybe I should report it to maybe for example, to the head of department. You don't know whom to report to. So whenever there are what we call unclear self-identities, you come to realize that you're going to have stress, because a new employee in an organization usually mostly if this employee is not handled carefully, he's going to be confused throughout until now he gets used to the organization. So this one can cause what we call stress to that particular employee. So when you have what we call you don't know where to report problems to, something like that. Another cause of stress is frustrations and feelings that a position has been clearly, no, has been when you have frustration and feelings that a promotion opportunity have been unfairly blocked. Like, for example, you come to realize that every day, in organizations, there crops what we call opportunities. Opportunities usually comes up in an organization. So you come to realize that once an opportunity has arisen in an organization, you are supposed to apply for that particular opportunity or that job opportunity. And when you apply for that particular job opportunity, you are called for an interview maybe, so that we see who is liable or who is competent enough to take that particular job opportunity. And from that particular job interview, you are left out as an employee, and you feel that that particular opportunity has been unfairly blocked, or it has been unfairly taken by another person. This one gives you an opportunity. This one gives you what we call stress. Why does it give you stress? Because maybe you had ambitions and you knew very well, I am the right candidate towards that particular opportunity, and then you feel alienated, and because of stress you become so demotivated about that particular job that you do there, or about everything in that particular organization. So another thing that can give you stress is lack of communication with the superior and colleagues. So when you talk about lack of communication with the superior and colleagues, we are actually talking about lack of participative management in decision making. So you come to realize that some organizations usually leave others out when they are making decisions. And maybe they are making a decision about you. Maybe they are making a decision. Should Yvette be our assistant manager, or should Yvette remain to the in the position that she is already in? So there is no communication. So they meet somewhere in a boardroom and they are making decisions about you, Yvette. So you come to realize that you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be stressed out or stressed up. Why? Because there is no participative management decision. There is no participative management in decision making. They are not including you, or they are not asking you for your own opinion whenever or when they are making what we call decisions. The next thing is feelings of personal inadequacy and insecurity. So whenever you feel that you are inadequate for in a certain organization or in a certain position within an organization, you feel it gives you stress. It gives you stress. So Irene, am I still breaking? You're saying that I'm breaking? So we are saying the feeling of personal inadequacy and insecurity can give an employee stress. That you feel that there is that you are not, or someone feeling that he is not secured or he cannot do anything needed of him. That one can give you stress. Another thing that can give you stress is what we call poor personal relationship with fellow employees. So when you have poor personal relationship with employees, you tend to realize that you're going to be stressed up. Imagine you have poor personal relationship with almost everybody in an organization. How do you feel when you wake up very early in the morning, reporting to that particular organization to actually do what you usually do best in that particular organization? You're going to be stressed up, waking up very early in the morning, going to an organization where you are not in terms with everybody in that particular office or in that particular organization. You feel stressed up, even waking up very early in the morning. And you feel happy when you leave that particular organization at around 5 p.m. going home, because now you are out of the stress zone. You're out of the stress zone. Any question as far as causes of stress is concerned? Remember, when you talk about causes of stress, we are not looking at stress in general, because if you are to look at stress in general, we are going to look at so many things that causes stress. Like, for example, at home, there are things that gives you stress. For example, at school, there are things that gives you stress at school. Maybe lack of school fees is one thing that can make you be stressed up. Another thing that can make you be stressed up, maybe you are not in good terms with your boyfriend. That also can give you stress. Remember, also not being in good terms with your father or your guardian also can give you stress. So we are not looking at stress in general, because if you are to look at stress in general, we might not actually finish this particular unit. We are looking at causes of stress within an organization. We are looking at causes of stress within an organization. And we have looked at 7 causes of stress within an organization. And the 7 causes of stress within an organization does not mean that they are all of them. There are others that we have not looked at. Like being overworked in an organization can cause stress. You are being overworked, or feeling that you are being overworked in an organization can give you stress. Another thing that can also give you stress is being underpaid. When you are being underpaid, it can give you stress. Or when your salary is being delayed by the employer, it gives you stress, because remember that you need to pay your overheads, you need to pay your rent, you need to pay to do shopping, maybe monthly shopping. You need to pay for bills like water bills, electricity bills, and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things and other things that can actually do what? That can actually cause stress. Any question? So as far as causes of stress are concerned, there are various causes of stress, and I'm not saying that I've covered all of them. There are others that you also may know, and you may also contribute to what I have given. You may also add to what I have already given to you. So let's look at how to react to stress. How do we react to stress? So when employees are confronted with threatening questions, the body naturally prepares itself either to fight or flight. So there are people, when they are confronted with threatening situation, they start now doing what? Prepare. They start to prepare themselves to fight. So unapata jamaa tu amekunja ngumi kwa sababu ya nini? He has been threatened or he has been confronted with a threatening question. So your body prepares to fight or to flight. To flight means what? Either to run away. So you prepare to run away. So whenever you are confronted with a threatening situation or question, you prepare to run away. That's when you hear people saying, even that organization, I am thinking of quitting the job that I'm doing. If you ask them properly, they tell you that, we were caught in a scandal, a corruption scandal, or maybe we were caught in a certain scandal, and I don't feel like going to that particular organization again. I don't like that job, simply because you are confronted with what we call a threatening question or situation. So when one continuously exposes himself to a stressful environment, this can cause tiredness. When you continuously expose yourself to a stressful environment, like for example, when you think that you are being overworked in an organization, or when you think that you are being mistreated in an organization, this actually tends to create it tends to cause what we call tiredness. You feel tired. You don't feel like reporting to that particular organization the following day. You also feel irritated. You also feel physically upset. Sometimes it tends to give you headache. Some employees, once they are from organization, once they are done with their daily work, every evening, they tend to have headache. Others develop what we call rashes and possibly change in personality. They change their behaviors. They become drunkards. They become aggressive, and so on and so forth. So some people react to stress in a very different way. So the way you react to stress is totally different from the way another person reacts to stress. Like for example, when somebody is stressed up, let's say for example, some people, when they're stressed up, they tend to drink a lot. And I talk about drinking, I'm not talking about drinking milk. I'm not talking about drinking water. They tend to drink a lot, and this we are talking about alcohol. So they will be sleeping in clubs or in bars, taking alcohol, especially the bitter ones. Others will tend to do what? Sleep a lot. So when people are stressed up, some people tend to sleep a lot, while others will not sleep at all. Others will tend to eat a lot, while others will not eat at all. Others talk a lot. Some people, when they have stress, they talk a lot. Others will keep quiet and keep calm, and they will not talk to anybody. Others will look for movies to watch whenever they have stress. And they can even watch a 24-episode movie series. They can watch a 24-episode series within a night without sleeping, while others, they tend to sleep a lot. Others tend to react to stress by maybe being abusive throughout. So when you're confronted with someone, maybe they are asking you, where did you keep your bag, or where did you keep the remote? They tend to be so much abusive. They react to someone by abusing them a lot. So people, in short, what we are saying is that people tend to, or people react to stress differently. So people respond to stress in different ways. That's what we have said. This is because stress is connected with the idea of pressure, which helps the individual to draw on physical and emotional resources, and this makes them to enjoy tense and challenging situations. Irene, do you have a question? Irene, is there any question? Your microphone is on and you don't have a question. Yvette, question?
You are now on mute. I don't have a question.
Now let me ask you a question. What do you do when you're stressed up? Do you drink a lot? Do you sleep a lot? Do you read a lot? Because there are people who read a lot. They can read 2 novels at once. The whole night. Within maybe 2 days, 2 novels within 2 days. While others, they don't have, that they cannot pay attention to anything that requires them to pay attention. How do you react to stress, Yvette?
You are now on mute. So I tend to maybe listen to songs or watch movies, but I don't talk to anyone.
You don't talk to anyone?
You don't talk to anyone.
That's good.
Yes. That's good.
Stephen, how do you react to stress? When you're stressed up, what do you do? Because there are people who, when they are stressed up, they tend to hit the wall. They hit the wall, they blow the wall, and then they calm down. Stephen, how do you react to stress?
What do you mean by react?
Huh?
What do you mean by react?
How do you react to stress? When you're stressed up, how do you react? Or when do you, how do you respond to things or to the situation?
You just chill. You just let it be.
You just let it be. Irene, how do you react to stress?
I always eat a lot, walk a lot.
You eat a lot?
Yes.
And sleep a lot?
No, and walk the whole day.
You will walk the whole day. Yeah, I know that. Emma?
Yes.
How do you react to stress? You talk a lot.
No.
How do you
I don't
react
talk.
to stress? You don't talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people, when they are stressed up, they walk a lot. They can walk from here to Ruiru, from Utawala to Ruiru, and they will not get tired. Others will talk a lot. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry they meet on the way, they talk to them. They tell them the whole story from A to Z. So we have, so different people react to stress differently. So let's go back to what we said. Let's look at causes of how to react to stress. So we have said that people react to stress differently, and I hope that one is done. Yeah, I hope that one is done. So we have said that this is because stress is connected with the idea of pressure, which helps the individual to draw on physical and emotional resources, and this makes them to enjoy tense, challenging situations. So let's look at the effects of stress. Effects of stress. So as far as how to react to stress, we have said people react to stress differently. So let's look at how to effects of stress. So number one, the existence of stress within an individual has both physical and psychological effect. Stress causes the following. Number one, it causes impatience. So when you talk about impatience, we are saying that sometimes when you are stressed up, like I don't know that it is Yvette who has told me or it is Emma, that you tend to walk a lot. You walk a lot. That shows that you are impatient. Once you are stressed up, you come to realize that some people walk a lot. They can walk from here, from Ruiru to, from Utawala to Ruiru and come back without even getting tired. Other people tend to smoke a lot. Other people tend to smoke a lot. So effects of stress is that some people tend to smoke a lot. They smoke one packet of cigarette, another packet of cigarette. So within 3 hours, that person has smoked over 3 packets of cigarette. So others have got what we call inadequate diet. So you come to realize that some people, I said some people are totally different. People are totally different. There are people who eat a lot when they're stressed up. There are people who don't eat at all when they're stressed up because they don't have the appetite. While others, they have extraordinary appetite. So they eat a lot. So those who don't have appetite because they are stressed up, they can even take crisps and a bottle of water and they feel satisfied about it, or they feel good about it. Others can take only bread, 2 pieces of bread, and they are okay the whole day. You see, that is an inadequate diet. Remember, that is not even balanced diet. Imagine you taking 2 pieces of bread and maybe a cup of water. Others will only take snacks like popcorns only, and they say that I am okay. And they sleep the whole night hungry. And when they wake up the following morning, they only take, let's say, for example, a bottle of water, and they say I am okay. So some people, when they are stressed up, they tend to lose weight, while others gain weight. Those who are gaining are the people who eat a lot. And those who are losing weight, they are people who are not eating at all, or they are actually taking an inadequate diet. Others, they tend to lack sleep. Others will not sleep. While others will sleep, they can even sleep from 6 p.m. to the following day at 7 a.m. 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. And they feel okay about it. So some people sleep a lot, while others don't sleep at all. And these people who don't sleep at all, maybe there are people who will not sleep at all. Maybe they will watch a series of a series, a certain movie with series. Others will not even concentrate on the movie. Others will maybe just sit down and something like that. They will not sleep at all. That's what we mean. Others, there is what we call restlessness. Others will be restless. He will be walking from sitting room to the dining room, from the dining table to the toilet, from the toilet to the kitchen, from the kitchen, the whole city, the whole area, or maybe, for example, everywhere. We'll be walking everywhere in the house. They are restless. Other, there is what we call, we'll have what we call increased tearfulness. Tearfulness. That when you look at their face, they look like they want to cry, but they are not crying. So there are people who will look like that. They will look like they want to cry, but they are not crying, simply because they're stressed up. Other, we have what we call muscle tension. These are the people you'll find them hitting the buckets, hitting anything that is in front of them, kicking everything. These are the people. And then we have a feeling of being under pressure. Some people will feel that they are being under pressure, so they will not concentrate a lot with things. Other will feel consistently frightened. You are stressed up, but you feel consistently frightened. When someone calls your name, you all of a sudden do what? You look like you're being called, and you become shocked when your name is being mentioned, because you feel frightened. I mean, you feel consistently frightened. You are frightened by small things. Maybe a plate has fallen down, you get shocked about it, or something like that. Others fear, there is what we call fear of social embarrassment. Others fear being socially embarrassed. So the less dramatic or physical manifestation of stress also include fainting. These are less dramatic physical manifestation of stress. But people, when you tell them something that stresses them, they faint. Others, they are depressed, and others, they feel alienated. So stress affects person's ability to concentrate and react and relax. That one is okay. So how do you reduce stress? How do we reduce stress in an organization? How we reduce stress in an organization is one of the things that we are going to do today. So there will be a discussion forum that you're supposed to post your discussion. So I'll post a discussion forum, and in this discussion forum, you are going to discuss on how to do what? On how to reduce stress in an organization. Any question? Yvette, is there any question?
You are now unmuted.
I don't have a question.
So I'm going to put a discussion forum that you're supposed to discuss about how you're supposed to overcome stress, or how you are supposed to reduce stress in an organization. So 2 minutes, I'll be back. The discussion forum is ready. The discussion forum is ready. You can go and do the contribution.